Beloved believers, the unstoppable journey of God's chosen ones. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever felt like you are caught in a storm, battling forces you cannot see but deeply feel? This storm, though cloaked in the guise of people and circumstances, is no ordinary chaos. It is a deliberate assault designed to weaken your spirit, distract you from your divine purpose, and rob you of the light within. These adversaries may come disguised as friends, partners, or even supporters, but their intentions are anything but benevolent. Their tactics are subtle yet destructive. They sow seeds of doubt, drain your spiritual energy, and manipulate your vulnerabilities. Like the biblical figures Delilah or Haman, their goal is clear: to derail you from God's calling. But what they do not realize is that you, beloved believers, are not just ordinary souls. You are chosen, marked by God, and equipped with a resilience that cannot be overcome by darkness. Why should you continue watching? Because this story is your story. It reveals not only the battles you face, but the incredible power within you to overcome them. Stay with us as we uncover the tactics of the enemy, the strength found in silence, and the ultimate victory that belongs to those who walk in God's light. This is a message of hope, empowerment, and triumph that you cannot afford to miss. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever felt a creeping shadow lurking in your life, disguised as a friend, a confidant, or even a supporter? These shadows are not mere coincidences. They are deliberate intrusions sent to test your resolve and pull you away from your divine purpose. The enemy does not announce itself with thunder or lightning, but seeps into your world with the quiet subtlety of a storm brewing on the horizon. Imagine Joseph, the favored son, gifted with dreams from God yet betrayed by his own brothers. They smiled with him, ate at the same table, and shared the same blood, yet in their hearts, envy and deceit festered. His betrayal came not from strangers but from those he trusted most. Do you see a parallel in your life? Have those you held closest ever revealed motives that felt like daggers in your soul? These adversaries wear masks, presenting themselves as allies while studying your strengths and weaknesses. They are like Delilah, who feigned love for Samson but sought his downfall, or Haman, whose charm cloaked a venomous hatred for Mordecai. Their goal is clear: to manipulate, distract, and ultimately control. They are not content to leave you where you are. They seek to draw you away from God's calling, away from the light that makes you one of his chosen. The enemy operates with cunning precision, observing your movements and whispering lies to distort your sense of purpose. They plant seeds of doubt, like weeds in a flourishing garden, hoping to choke out the life and vibrancy of your faith. They distract you with noise, criticism, flattery, or confusion, pulling your focus away from the path God has laid before you. But beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, know this: your worth is not determined by their schemes. Their efforts to manipulate and control reveal their own fear of the power within you. For you are marked by God, and no earthly force can erase that divine signature. Let us pause and reflect. How often have you felt overwhelmed by the voices around you, uncertain of who to trust? Have you questioned your strength, your purpose, or even your faith because of the actions of others? Remember, these challenges are not signs of weakness but of your chosenness. The enemy does not target those who are insignificant. They seek to dismantle what they fear. In the face of such deception, God calls you to a higher response. You are not meant to retaliate with anger or fear, but to stand firm in the quiet confidence of your faith. Jesus himself, when faced with betrayal and accusations, chose silence. His composure was not weakness but strength, a testament to his trust in the Father's plan. Beloved believers, you too are called to this strength. When the storm rages around you and the enemy whispers lies into your ears, choose silence. Choose to listen not to the noise but to the voice of God within you. This silence is not passivity. It is power. It disarms those who seek to harm you, exposing their desperation and forcing them to confront the truth of their own emptiness. Let me ask you this: what storms are you facing today? Who in your life has challenged your faith, questioned your purpose, or tried to dim your light? These moments, as painful as they are, are opportunities to lean deeper into God's strength. Like Joseph, who endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, your trials are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of a greater revelation. In the quiet of your heart, listen for the divine whisper that reminds you of your identity. You are beloved believers, the chosen ones of God. No betrayal, no manipulation, no scheme can separate you from His love or His purpose. Trust in this truth and let it guide you through the storms that seek to unsettle you. The enemy may come in disguise, but their plans will never succeed against the resilience and faith of God's chosen. In the next part, we will uncover the true purpose behind these trials and the ways they prepare you for the incredible destiny God has in store. Stay with me, beloved believers, for this journey is far from over. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever asked yourself why you face trials so intense they threaten to pull you away from the very core of your being? Why does the enemy work so tirelessly to sow seeds of doubt and confusion in your heart? The answer lies not in your weakness, but in your significance. You are marked by God for a divine purpose, and the enemy's greatest fear is that you will fulfill it. Let us reflect on Joseph, a dreamer blessed with divine visions, yet his path to greatness was fraught with betrayal and suffering. Stripped of his robe of many colors, sold into slavery, and falsely accused, Joseph's life appeared to unravel. But beneath the surface of every trial lay a divine purpose. Each hardship was not a detour, but a step forward in God's plan to raise him as a leader, a savior to nations. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, your trials are not mere misfortunes. They are designed with precision to distract you from your calling and weaken your resolve. The enemy knows that your destiny is tied to God's glory. Like Delilah, who sought to strip Samson of his strength, and Haman, who plotted Mordecai's downfall, these trials aim to drain your spirit and pull you away from the divine path carved for you. But what the enemy does not understand is that God's purpose cannot be thwarted. The confusion they sow is the very soil where your faith grows. Like seeds planted in the dark earth, your calling is nurtured in the depths of struggle and silence. The enemy's attempts to bury you only prepare you to rise stronger. Imagine standing at the edge of a dense forest, the path ahead obscured by shadows. The enemy wants you to believe that the darkness is endless, that the obstacles are insurmountable. But within you burns a light placed there by God Himself. This light is your faith, your calling, and your identity as one of His chosen. It is a beacon that guides you through the wilderness, illuminating the steps you need to take. Beloved believers, have you felt the weight of doubt pressing against your spirit? Have you questioned your ability to move forward, to persevere through the confusion? These moments are not evidence of failure, but of preparation. God allows these trials not to harm you, but to strengthen you, to draw you closer to Him, and to reveal the depths of His power within you. Consider Jesus in the wilderness, fasting for 40 days while the enemy sought to tempt Him. Each offer from the devil was designed to pull Him away from His mission. Yet, Jesus stood firm, relying on the Word of God as His weapon. His victory in the wilderness was not just a triumph over temptation. It was a declaration of purpose. His path to the cross, though fraught with suffering, was the fulfillment of His destiny to bring salvation to the world. Like Jesus, your trials are not random. They are purposeful. They are opportunities to declare your trust in God and reaffirm your commitment to His calling. Every moment of doubt, every seed of confusion, is a chance to cling tighter to His promises and let His light shine brighter through you. Let me ask you this. What distractions have entered your life recently? Who or what has tried to pull you away from your purpose? These distractions, though painful, are signs of your significance. The enemy targets those who carry the greatest potential because they pose the greatest threat to his schemes. But beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, you are not defenseless. God has equipped you with His armor, the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, and the helmet of salvation. He has given you His word as a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. The enemy's confusion cannot withstand the clarity of God's truth. As Joseph's life teaches us, what the enemy intends for evil, God uses for good. The very chains that bound him became the stepping stones to his destiny. And so it will be with you. The trials you face today are shaping you for the purpose God has prepared. Beloved believers, do not lose heart. Do not let the noise of doubt drown out the divine whisper of your calling. You are chosen for a reason, and your trials are proof of your significance. Trust in God's plan, even when it feels unclear, and know that He is working all things together for your good. In the next part, we will explore the strength that comes from silence and how choosing to trust rather than react can disarm the enemy and fortify your spirit. Stay with me, for this journey of faith is building toward a victory far greater than you can imagine. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever felt the weight of the world urging you to react, to shout, to defend yourself against the chaos surrounding you? Yet, in those moments, the greatest strength is often found not in reaction but in silence. The silence of God's chosen is not passive. It is active, purposeful, and powerful. It is a declaration of trust in the one who fights your battles. Consider Jesus, standing before Pilate, accused by the crowds, yet choosing not to defend himself. His silence was not weakness but strength, a profound act of trust in God's plan. In that silence, Jesus demonstrated a power that confounded his enemies and revealed the depth of his faith. Beloved believers, you too are called to this strength, to a silence that speaks louder than any words could. The enemy thrives on noise, on confusion and chaos. Like a predator stalking its prey, the manipulative forces in your life seek to provoke a reaction, to draw you into their web of lies and deceit. But when you choose silence, you deny them the power they crave. Your silence is a shield, a sanctuary where God's voice becomes clear. Think of the ocean during a storm. On the surface, the waves crash violently, yet in the depths, there is peace. Your silence is like those depths, an anchor that holds firm against the storm. It allows you to observe without being overtaken, to discern the truth amidst the noise. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, your silence is a testimony to your faith. When you refrain from reacting to manipulation, you demonstrate your trust in God's justice. When you choose not to retaliate, you proclaim your belief that His timing is perfect. This silence is not surrender, it is victory. It is a declaration that your identity is not defined by the chaos around you but by the God within you. Reflect on Joseph's journey. When falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and thrown into prison, he did not lash out in anger or seek revenge. Instead, he remained silent and faithful, trusting that God would vindicate him in His time. That silence became a pathway to revelation, as God elevated Joseph from the depths of a dungeon to the heights of leadership. Beloved believers, what storms are you facing today? Who or what is trying to provoke you into reaction? Take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to trust in the power of silence. Let your stillness become a sanctuary where God's presence dwells, where His wisdom guides you, and where His peace sustains you. Silence does not mean passivity. It means listening to God's voice, to His direction, and to His truth. It means choosing to observe rather than react, to discern rather than be distracted. It is in this silence that the manipulations of the enemy are exposed, their lies unraveling under the weight of truth. Imagine a mirror reflecting light. When the mirror is still and clean, its reflection is clear and bright. But when it is shaken or covered in dirt, the light becomes distorted. Your silence is the stillness that allows God's light to shine through you, undistorted and radiant. The enemy grows desperate in the face of such silence. When their schemes fail to provoke you, they reveal their own weakness. Like Haman, whose pride and manipulation led to his downfall, or Delilah, whose betrayal exposed her true motives, the enemy's desperation ultimately leads to their defeat. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, your silence is a weapon, a testament to your faith and strength. It is a reminder that you do not fight your battles alone. God goes before you, stands beside you, and works within you. In your stillness, He moves. In your silence, He speaks. So I ask you now, how will you respond to the challenges you face? Will you let the noise of the world dictate your actions? Or will you choose the silence of faith? Will you trust that God's justice is greater than your retaliation, that His truth is more powerful than any lie? In the next part, we will witness the inevitable collapse of the enemy's schemes and the triumph of those who trust in God's timing and justice. Stay with me, beloved believers, for the journey is building toward a revelation of hope and victory. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever watched as those who sought to harm you became ensnared by their own schemes? The downfall of the enemy is inevitable. Though their efforts may seem powerful and their tactics relentless, their plans are built on lies, and lies cannot stand in the presence of truth. Consider Haman, who plotted to destroy Mordecai and the Jewish people. His schemes were elaborate, his hatred deep, and his confidence unshaken. Yet, every trap he set ultimately ensnared himself. The gallows he built for Mordecai became the instrument of his own downfall. Why? Because God's truth is unshakable, and His justice is perfect. Beloved believers, the same God who delivered Mordecai is fighting for you. The enemy's tactics are desperate attempts to regain control when silence and faith expose their weakness. Like a cornered predator, they lash out with lies, rumors, and aggression. Yet, their fury only hastens their defeat. Each lie they spread returns to them empty. Each trap they set collapses beneath their feet. The chosen ones of God are not easily shaken, for their foundation is built on the rock of ages. Imagine a house built on sand, its foundation shifting with every wave and wind. No matter how grand it may appear, it cannot withstand the storm. The enemy's plans are like this house, unstable and destined to fall. Meanwhile, the chosen ones of God stand firm, like a house built on rock, unyielding to the forces that try to dismantle it. Beloved believers, think of Joseph's brothers, who sold him into slavery out of jealousy. They believed they had rid themselves of their rival, but their betrayal became the very path to Joseph's rise. Years later, they found themselves kneeling before the brother they sought to destroy, dependent on his mercy during a famine. What they intended for evil, God used for good. Your life, too, is a testament to this truth. The people or forces that seek to undermine you will ultimately reveal their own fragility. Their downfall is not orchestrated by you, but by their own actions colliding with God's justice. Your role is to remain steadfast in faith, trusting that God sees every injustice and will act in His perfect timing. Let us pause and ask, have you experienced moments when the plans of those against you seemed overwhelming? Did you wonder if their schemes would succeed? Beloved believers, remember this: no weapon formed against you will prosper. The very forces that rise against you will fall by their own design. The story of Jesus on the cross is the ultimate illustration of this truth. The enemy believed that His crucifixion was a victory, yet what appeared to be the darkest moment became the dawn of salvation. The cross, a symbol of shame and defeat, became the emblem of redemption and triumph. The enemy's greatest effort to destroy became God's greatest act of love and power. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, your trials are not the end of your story. The forces working against you will fall under the weight of their own deception, while you emerge stronger, brighter, and closer to God. The enemy's downfall is not merely your victory. It is a revelation of God's justice and glory. So I ask you, will you trust in God's timing and His justice? Will you stand firm in your faith, even when the storm intensifies? Will you believe that the light within you cannot be extinguished by the darkness around you? The collapse of the enemy is a reminder that no force can stand against God's truth. Their defeat is a testimony to the power of faith, resilience, and divine justice. Beloved believers, stand strong, for the trials you face are shaping you, and the victory ahead is certain. In the final part, we will celebrate the triumph of light over darkness and the ultimate victory that belongs to those who walk in God's purpose. Stay with me, for the journey is leading us to a place of hope, joy, and unshakable faith. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, have you ever felt the moment when the storm passes and the first rays of light break through the clouds? That is the victory of God's chosen, a triumph not just over trials but over darkness itself. This victory is not just survival. it is transformation. You emerge not only unscathed but stronger, brighter, and more aligned with the purpose God has set for your life. The light within you, placed there by the Creator, is unquenchable. Like a flame shielded by divine hands, it cannot be extinguished by the winds of adversity or the waves of doubt. The trials that sought to dim your light have only refined it, allowing it to shine even brighter. Beloved believers, your journey is not one of defeat, but of undeniable triumph. Think again of Joseph, betrayed, imprisoned, and forgotten. He could have been consumed by despair, yet he trusted in God's timing and purpose. When the moment of victory came, Joseph was not only restored but elevated, becoming a source of salvation for nations. His journey was not merely his own. It was a testament to the power of faith and resilience for all who witnessed it. Your life, too, is a testament. Every challenge you have faced, every betrayal, every doubt, has prepared you for this moment. The enemy sought to bury you, but like a seed planted in the soil, you have grown. Your roots have deepened, and your branches now stretch toward the heavens, bearing the fruit of God's promises. The story of Jesus offers the ultimate illustration of this victory. On the cross, the enemy believed he had won. But in 3 days, the tomb was empty, and the Savior rose, bringing light and redemption to the world. His victory over death was not just his own. It was ours. Beloved believers, the same resurrection power is at work in you. Imagine a lantern in the darkness. Its light does not fight the darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness retreats. Your life is that lantern. Your faith, your hope, and your resilience are the light that cannot be overcome. The trials you endured were not in vain. They were the oil that fuels your light, making it burn brighter for all to see. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, your victory is not just for you. It is a beacon for others who are still in the storm. Your story, your faith, and your triumph inspire hope and point others toward the God who has brought you through. You are not only a survivor, you are a light bearer, a reflection of His glory. Let us reflect. What does victory look like in your life? Is it the restoration of what was lost? The fulfillment of a long-awaited promise? Or perhaps it is the unshakable peace that comes from knowing you are held by God. Whatever form it takes, know this: your victory is assured because it is rooted in His power, not your own. The video ends with a triumphant affirmation. Darkness can never conquer light. Your faith, resilience, and trust in God have brought you to this place of victory. The enemy's plans have failed, and you stand in the fullness of God's purpose. So I ask you now, how will you walk in this victory? Will you shine your light for others to see? Will you share your testimony, inspiring those who are still battling their storms? Will you continue to trust in the God who has brought you this far? Beloved believers, the journey does not end here. Victory is not the finish line. It is the beginning of a new chapter. As you walk forward, strengthened and illuminated, remember that you are called to be a beacon of hope and faith in a world that desperately needs it. Stay connected to this light. Stay rooted in God's promises, and stay committed to the purpose He has for you. The path ahead is bright, for you are His chosen, and His light within you is eternal. Let this victory inspire you, beloved believers. Leave a comment below and share how God has brought you through your storms. Encourage others who are still fighting their battles. Subscribe to The Anointed for more messages of hope, faith, and inspiration, and let us continue this journey together. The light is in you, and the best is yet to come. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, as we reach the end of this journey, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound truths we've uncovered. Your life, marked by challenges and trials, is not defined by the storms you face, but by the light within you that refuses to be extinguished. This story is not just about survival. It is about victory, victory over manipulation, doubt, and darkness through the unwavering power of faith and trust in God. The trials you endure are not purposeless. They are the tools God uses to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for something greater. Just as Joseph rose from the pit to the palace and Jesus triumphed over the cross to bring salvation, You too are being prepared for a destiny far beyond what you can imagine. This journey reminds us that silence is strength, resilience is power, and trust in God is our greatest weapon. The light within you is unquenchable, and no force of darkness can stand against it. Your story is a testimony to the truth that God's chosen ones are protected, empowered, and victorious. So, beloved believers, how has this message spoken to your heart? What trials have you overcome with God's guidance, and what victories has He brought into your life? Share your thoughts and testimonies in the comments below. Your story could be the light someone else needs to keep going. If this message has inspired you, please like this video and subscribe to The Anointed for more powerful reflections on faith, hope, and resilience. Share this video with someone who may need a reminder that they are chosen, loved, and victorious. Beloved believers, the chosen ones of God, remember this: the darkness cannot overcome the light, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. You are called to shine, to inspire, and to walk boldly in the purpose God has set before you. Stay strong, stay faithful, and stay anointed. The journey continues, and the best is yet to come. Let us walk together in the light of His glory, knowing that we are never alone. Until next time, may God bless and guide you. Amen.